The Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal Big Footy rules still apply.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Alright, so this is the Flogcast for round 6. The number one fan of Hardwick from Richmond, Starburns, is here, and I'm joined by the number one fan of Tyrone Vickery from Hawthorn Penal.
Come on, I don't fangirl over VFL players.
The holder of Collingwood's leading goal kicker trophy, Morgan Ashley.
Cat's probably
Cat
killed.
won. The cat
Oh.
won.
I'm here.
The
Oh no, the cat didn't win.
Shut up, Dan.
the North equivalent of Plugger and Smasher, Dan.
Oh yeah, great.
And the Andrew Mackey of podcasts from St Kilda, Cookson.
I might be Andrew Mackey, but you're definitely the Harley Benalla podcast at this moment.
Don't you dare kick me off my plane.
You don't have to request that from Cookie. You got to make sure Morgs doesn't do that. Although Morgs can do a lot worse than just kick you off your flight.
Should make it disappear.
May disappear
Like Scott Pendlebury on Anzac Day.
She's the Houdini of airlines.
I will fuck you up, Dan.
Goo or tears? Who wants to go first?
I'm terrible at this. I never give these any thought.
You didn't have to go first.
Yeah, but I had nothing though. I suppose I have tears. They stopped making the hot cross buns at Baker's Delight. That irked me a little bit.
What the fuck's with that? They do it everywhere.
Well, Mark Murphy loves Baker's Delight, and he's a big fan of the finger buns, and it's kind of related. I don't know.
What is it? Is it that, have they ever tested this to see that people won't buy hot cross buns all year? Because I reckon they'd buy them for a while afterwards at least. Like they might stop buying them by June, but
I'm a huge sucker for a cross bun.
You don't stop buying chocolate after Easter.
no.
Yeah, how are you travelling, Augustus? Are you stuck in that pipe? Help!
I actually still haven't eaten my Easter chocolate.
Surprisingly.
But yeah, so no hot cross buns, Dan.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a huge sucker for a hot cross bun, and if they made them throughout the year, I'd still buy them.
I wouldn't, because I get the chocolate chip ones, so and that's probably not good for your health, because I'm Augustus.
There's obvious tears, but we can get into that later.
I've got to have goo. I've got goo. I mean, whichever person on this planet has somehow got Levi Caswell to kick accurately at goal.
Severia Rocker.
He's done a bigger miracle than fucking Jesus and Buddha and whatever
Buddha
deity you
didn't do
believe.
miracles.
No, he just found enlightenment.
Yeah.
And got fat.
Well, but still, it's like Severio Rocker has managed to get Caswell to kick straight.
Oh, come on. One of those goals he kicked from 2 metres out.
He kicked 4 goals on the weekend, though. If he keeps his average up, he's going to win the Coleman.
He'll be a very good exer, you mean?
Well, yeah, just some couple pick him up. Maybe Hawthorn, they could use a key forward. Because I got Tears, but again, same with Stan. They're a bit later on.
I've got youth goo, but that'll come in the
No.
reviews, no doubt.
Let's just hear it now. Let's hear it now.
No, so I was going to have some goo for the wonderful goal that was scored on the weekend by Nemanja Macic in the FA Cup semi-final to cast those lousy yids back to the scrap heap where they belong. Like fucking Tottenham, eh? Can't stand them, but at least
99 times out of 100, he puts that into the back row of the stand.
It was a thunder cunt of a finish.
it was a spectacular goal, and if you haven't seen it, go YouTube it now, because like Morg said, that'll probably only ever happen once in his career.
Yeah, that's it for him, because he's attempted that shot every week that I've ever watched Chelsea. Every week I've watched him attempt that shot and never hit it.
So he's basically
Anyone can win the
Levi
lottery.
Casbolt, the lightning struck this week.
He was dead set due.
There's also some good Spurs mounts as well. They're always funny to watch.
Oh god, the fucking Tottenham supporters on the Big Footy soccer board, they're all a pack of cunts, especially like Giroud and Hawk Force.
Didn't go you punch
Oh.
one?
Yes.
Yes. That was quick
Yeah.
quick confirmation.
Fucking
Yep.
Bulldogs and Spurs. Yeah, that's a fucking great combination, eh?
Could be Geelong and Spurs. We miss you, Teach.
Oh, sad face. I have tears.
Hey, your team won, Morgan, so be positive.
Yeah, my team won. I have tears because, I don't know. Maybe I've got goo. I got goo for my own ability to be the first to know everything. Like I was the first person to know that Scott Pendlebury's a fucking shit truck. Imagine being the only person that could see it last year. Like the only one.
You're a visionary.
And now everyone's like, oh, Scott Pendlebury's really bad at football. I'm like, no shit. God, he was so bad today.
I was there, and as a neutral, watching it and going, who's playing well, who's not, and it stood out just how much Pendlebury was no good. It wasn't even the chasing. He wasn't even getting the ball, really, and doing anything with it. He wasn't running one way. He was running on the spot.
Is he injured? He has to
Oh,
be.
clearly. If he wasn't injured, he'd at least be running one way.
Could it also be that because they play it on a Tuesday and they have to front up on a Sunday, that they're just managing his time? Like he did spend.
No, but he's had
lot of time
he's
on
had
the
a
bench.
9-day break. Next week's the short break.
But I mean, if you run out there, you're fair game.
But he didn't know penal. He never ran. He didn't run anyway.
Well,
He bought.
if he crossed the white line,
Okay.
If he plays on Sunday, Collingwood's taking the piss.
Like my cat.
but yeah, such a fucking hipster, Morgs. Jeez, I hated Pendlebury before it was cool.
I have tears. My tears are for Dan.
They are.
Dan, you missed out last week.
What did I miss out on?
The Mongcast happened. Did you not listen? There was Plugger, and there was Trade Draft, and there was Taz Hawk, and there was Wanna.
No.
Did you not listen?
I think I did. Hang
Yeah,
on.
and other assorted St Kilda Mong that I can't think of. It happened. It happened, Dan. Did you not listen?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, no, you missed out. It finally happened. Your treasured, cherished Mongcast. I swear that's what I heard last week. Can anyone correct me?
Did I listen to something else?
No, it's definitely Taz Hawk. Fucking trying to get him to get Skype installed was challenging.
Because all I
He got
heard
there.
was
He just went
all I
beep
heard
boop.
was Cookson, Morgan Ashley, Gornage, Cookson's brother, and Penal.
That's what the description said.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. I don't even know what day it is.
It's Wednesday, mate.
Oh well, okay. I missed out on the Moncast. This beautiful, great pilgrimage of retards on Skype, was it?
It was your brainchild.
No, was it? No, it wasn't.
Plugger revealed some of his best stories. The stuff too good for the Bay.
Plugger didn't come on. I'm pretty sure I did listen to it last week. Unless I listened to a different. Did you do two last week?
No, just the one. The Mongcast.
The one I listened to in the.
Oh, Dan, he's just saying that because he thinks we were Mongs last week. Fuck's sake.
Oh, sorry.
Dan, stupid.
You bloody confused me. I thought I listened to the wrong fucking podcast for a second. And now I'm remembering that you guys talked about Survivor and...
Yeah, they did. They fucking did.
Shut
That was half the reason it was the Mongcast.
What do you mean? It wasn't Mongs. It was the same people that talk about Survivor every week, me and Penal.
You've reached your quota for the year, so no more fucking Survivor
Well,
talk.
it was a double episode last week. We're going to talk about it.
Shut up.
No, we don't really care. We don't care about Survivor. People getting booted off. Chicks with dicks getting exposed. We don't care.
Dan clearly listened. on the recaps, and I think we'll begin with Collingwood Essendon because there's a lot to say, and we have touched on Scott Pendlebury, but I think we can pay a little bit more attention to him in the way that he doesn't to his opponents. He was very, very bad.
It was horrifically bad.
It stood out, and he was not alone. Like, it's like the Collingwood players followed him because there were very few who really wanted to be out there from the look of things, which was in stark contrast to Essendon. And on talent, Essendon doesn't win that game.
No, but it's not... God.
Daniel Wells tried to carry everyone. He couldn't do it.
I heard he got
Probably-
30
he's
disposals,
already-
his worst on ground.
he's already-
Was that you or was that NL last year?
That would have been NL, the ice
no.
cream.
It wasn't. It was
Pushing.
me.
Oh, it was
It was
you.
me.
Oh, that was you.
I thought it was a Norfie.
Well, he was your best player today, and he's probably winning the.
Oh, he
bean
wasn't
at
their best player. Trelaw.
No, Trelaw was...
Okay, Trelaw, I'll give you, but
I thought Howe was.
Howe was pretty good.
I thought Wells was the best player.
But basically, when you think of Collingwood's best, you would cut out at 3 or 4 players who could say they played all right. Whereas with Essendon, it
Oh.
was
Literally 4. How? Trelaw,
Why-
Wells, and Elliott. That's
Yep.
it.
I have a
I'd say
question. How did Mason Cox get a game in the
'Cause
rainy, slippery conditions?
Jesse White's
Oh,
a potato
I
and
think-
Chris Main's even worse.
That's not why. It's because he's been living in Essendon supporters' heads rent-free, and so they thought we'll bring Cox in because they were all so intimidated by him last year, and that didn't work very well. Like, even on their board during the week, they're all like, oh, he killed us last year. He fucking annihilated us, blah, blah, blah. And
I'll
Doss is
tell you,
like,
someone
he had
who,
10 touches.
who had very little regard for him. Bloody Danaher tried to sell the candy off him and nearly kicked the goal.
No, he didn't nearly kick a goal. Dano missed it by about 30 metres after he kicked it. That one missed the second set of goals, that kick.
Yeah, that was know your limitations, Joe.
Yeah.
You're not, buddy.
So you'll have to settle for the Anzac Day medal.
Well, yeah. He was the best player out there, so...
Fair call on the medal there.
Yeah.
I mean, he joins a few luminaries.
Mark McGough.
Seedsman.
Damien Cupido.
Wait, hang on. Damien Cupido won an Anzac medal.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Fuck me, some spuds
He
have
did.
won the Anzac medal. And James Hurd put one in a Supreme Court writ that he won 3 of them. Well, really? That's as many have been won by Seedsman, Cupido and McGough combined.
He put that in his court, Rick.
Yes, he was a 3-time Anzac medalist. He put it in his...
What the hell? How is that relevant?
Because it has
How's
the
that
word
relevant?
Anzac in it.
Oh, what a fucking-
Paul
Just
Medhurst.
fucking got a big note yourself, yeah.
He's trying to sell chocolates now. Have you read about this?
You know who should have won it today? Josh Green.
Oh,
An
get
idiot.
fucked.
Nah, come on.
He wasn't
Get
even the
stuffed.
best small forward playing for Essendon.
Yeah, the little redhead's lucky to be playing. To be.
Yeah, he got a few cheapies out the back. Doesn't mean he's fucking...
Yeah, like,
He kicked 3 goals, and 3 goals was the margin.
Orazio kicked 4.
Using stupid nomics, he is the best on ground.
No, the big O kicked 4.
Oh, BT called him 50 different names today. It's like, oh, Frazio. It's like, shut the fuck up, you pistachioed cunt.
Pistachio.
BT hasn't been that bad this year. Like, since making the transition to Friday nights, he's gotten a lot better.
I still want him gagged, though.
I agree. It's Friday nights. He's actually decided to be semi-professional.
I think separating him from sort of certified fucking retard Luke Darcy has done him the world of good.
And funnily enough, somehow made Basil worse.
Goddard's growing a bald spot, which I found quite funny. His vanity's not going to let that happen.
He'll blame someone else, though. He'll point the finger at Essendon or someone. But, nah, Collingwood just didn't turn up to play. Essendon did anything else?
Buckley's gone within, I'm called 5 weeks, I reckon.
Yeah, okay. It's really interesting to see how...
Is it? It's really interesting.
Well, no, it's a really interesting study to see how long Eddie holds.
Well, yeah, he might stand there kicking and screaming, saying, "If you want to get Nathan Buckley, you got to get rid of me first."
You got to go through me.
You can take our lives, but you never take our Buckley.
So they've got Brisbane at the MCG in 5 weeks. I reckon if they lose that, you've got to pull the trigger.
Unless they win the 4 before that.
Yeah, but they don't have like Geelong and a bunch of other good sides.
Yeah, so if they beat a couple of those, then
Yeah,
they're
so
back in town.
they'd almost be expected to lose. They'd certainly be expected to lose to Geelong and GWS. But if they lose to Brisbane in a couple of weeks, then yeah, toast.
That's sort of the one where you go, all right, this isn't good enough.
You need a couple of 100-point losses for there to be genuine pressure on the coach.
Do they, though?
Yeah, 100-point losses on pressured coaches are coach killers. Despite playing those good...
Losing to
sides.
Brisbane may as well be a 100-point loss.
No, they're a little bit better than what they were last year.
Lose to Carlton, that could be interesting.
When do they play Carlton?
Round 7.
That's 2 weeks.
When do
but,
they play Sydney or North? If you lose to the 2 Owens, I mean you're in.
Well, they've already beaten Sydney, so...
yeah, and their first game against North is not till the end of the year.
Oh shit!
Brisbane's got to be the barometer. Like, lose that game, throw him out. Simple as that.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Eddie's just stubborn and he'll just stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie controls everything at that club.
He will not be shown to be wrong. He will not. He'll stick by him.
Okay, so what's the excuse? How's he massage the message?
He doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
No.
The message has been loud and clear that he doesn't care what the supporters think. That's why we can have 28,000 membership forums. Nothing's going to fucking happen.
So how long do you think it's going to be, Morgs? When does it happen?
To the end of the year.
If it happens,
It has to happen.
I know it has to happen, but it won't happen.
It will happen. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen.
This isn't a shampoo ad. This is Eddie Maguire, and he's a stubborn.
Eddie wouldn't go purple overnight, but it did happen.
But if it was a shampoo ad, what colour would Eddie's hair be?
Maybe a nice brown. The dark brown. He would use Head and Shoulders or something like that. But would he use conditioner?
Yeah, I don't want to think of Eddie Maguire in the shower. Okay. Come on.
You can't say we never discussed the big issues.
It did get raised for the questions, a couple of questions that have been thrown up tonight for Morgs, basically, or for all of us, really. First, our thoughts on Alex Fasolo.
There were a lot worse players out there, but he's still a selfish cunt.
I don't know how more worse than him. What was the actual wording of the question? Where is it?
Just discuss. It wasn't a real question. It was like an essay question.
The guy that
So
leading
your
goal
response
kicking
is
last
expected
year, and
long and
you
so
detailed
you
response.
need to
steal his trophy.
You need to do an thesis, introduction, supporting argument,
Yes.
conclusion.
No, he said you will talk about Fasolo. In particular fact, he seems to have a resting flog face. The issue with Fasolo is not his resting flog face, it's his resting fucking body. He doesn't work hard enough. Like, the guy can be to the brim with talent, but if you don't want to work, you're not going to get anywhere. And none of them want to work.
Damien Cupido was filled to the brim with talent.
Yeah, but Alex Fasolo's never won an Anzac medal.
I know, he hasn't even reached Damien Cupido levels.
He'll never be Damien Cupido.
The other one, which has sort of been discussed about the panel, why Jesse White was omitted for Mason Cox on a rainy, wet weather football game. Morgs did discuss it's to do with him being in Essendon's heads, but is there anything else we can come up with?
This match was sort of set up for Jesse White to come in and dominate after most of us tipped him for the Anzac medal last week, so very disappointing, and just another reason why Buckley has to go once they lose to Brisbane. This was not the weather for Cox. Like they say, Cox always gets smaller in the wet, so...
He should have played Jared Blair.
But if you'd picked Jared Blair, then I would have, loved to see the Collingwood board's reaction to that.
Bring in Chris Mayne. It's his sort of day.
Anybody.
Yeah, you can't have your fucking big name recruit languishing in the VFL.
I blame Jordan De Goey.
Nah, fair call.
Well, he languishes in the VFL,
Yes.
getting worse. Stupid liar.
Oh, yeah.
I hate liars. That's why I hate Jordan De Goey and I hate paddle.
I've got a question. We've established what shampoo he uses, but what cologne do we think Eddie Maguire uses?
I think he just bathes in Bucks' jizz. Literally, he licks the sweat off him.
I was going to say fried chicken grease.
I was going to say musk of a cheeseburger with Bucks mayo.
Oh, speaking of people that were showering that, I seen Hutchie at the footy today.
Oh,
Did you call him a waste of semen?
He looked like he'd been in a good paddock.
Oh, there's a really good story of like Big Footy or something about Hutchie trying to date like Sean Hampson's sister. Yeah.
You only get one chance with Hutchie. Fair dinkum. Who's this cunt think he is? Don't you know who I am? Fucking oath.
Fucking lost my shit at reading that.
Next game is, Norfed it, Dan. Is this one a choke?
This is very much a choke, yes. Oh, Jesus, we lost to Freo. And it was low scoring too. It doesn't get any worse than...
It was an ugly
this.
fucker of a game.
Oh, God. It was a Susan Boyle of a game. That's how ugly it was. Oh, Jesus. 0-5. Is Northern Lights still believing that North can win every game? Is he still in that rabbit hole?
He will live in that mindset that North should turn up to a game believing they can win. And maybe
this is the same guy that has the mindset that Golden Gate time rappers are footy banners.
Maybe
you
if
defeat
your
us,
players
Flog.
turned up to the game believing they could win, maybe they would. Because you can literally see it in their faces they don't believe that they can hold on to a win.
Their defeatist flogs, Dan.
Like
So
you.
Dan's
It's your
gotten
fault
into their
then.
head. He's gotten in their psyche.
But we know that
It's
the
my fault for being realistic about my team's chance of winning a game of football.
Why? You've been in fucking how many games now that you can't win?
They get tired in the last quarter and opposition teams just cash in. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with me.
You had chances in the last quarter, though. It was very North-esque.
Yeah, I've got nothing to really say to
Yeah,
defend them, to be honest. Although I did see Mark of the Year. We're going to go back to back in that.
Oh, no, that wasn't as good as
it
bloody...
was-
No.
Yes.
A couple of weeks
Yes.
ago.
I thought Howe's one today was
No
Mark of the
way.
week.
Yeah.
How's
There's
one-
no way that'll
that is
be
gonna
22. That won't stand up for 22.
The only thing that
weeks.
will go against him is that he took it on his chest. That is the best mark of the year so far, and nothing will beat it.
Hooperloos was better. Tom Boyd's was better.
I don't
Fuck,
think
Jeremy
he's-
Howe does better
I don't
week in, week
think-
out.
Jeremy Howe just does average marks every week. I don't know.
There's no way that'll endure for 22 weeks. But in terms of like flogs to win the game against North, like Shane Kirsten or Jared
Oh,
Petrenko. Like, that's fucking some pretty shit company
And
that
Shane Kirsten's the guy
solid.
Geelong were comfortable trading away to bring in Aaron Black too. Just so we're there.
Who also had a good game as well.
Mm.
Oh, fuck off.
Your goals kicked against you by Aaron Black. Now you know how it feels to support
Yeah.
Richmond.
So what's next for North? I mean, when are they going to win their first game?
When do you play Collingwood? Oh, round 20 odd,
Well,
isn't
you
it?
have Gold Coast this week, so this week.
No, they have absolutely fucked us at Etihad Stadium before, and Gary will go 40-4.
Well, it gets worse because then you have Adelaide at Etihad Stadium.
And they have a
they've
great
got a
record.
good record there.
Oh,
You'll
the
get
record.
smacked
I
there.
swear to God, I said the record thing once, and it's been carried for like 3 years as this
Because
silly
everyone,
joke.
Actually, no, it said
as we said, you
Tasmania.
said it with such conviction that we all believed, oh, that must be true, and we ran with that for ages. And it wasn't until a year later when Penal joined us and said, you know, that whole Adelaide at Etihad thing you've been talking about is bullshit. And I was like, oh, who knew?
Actually, have them at Tassie, Dan. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're still fucked anyways.
Then you have Sydney at Etihad.
Oh, Owen versus Owen.
Then Melbourne at the MCG.
No, we'll beat Melbourne. We haven't lost to them in like 15 years.
I do hope that both Sydney and North are still Owen when they get together in a couple of weeks.
They'll be like the reverse of that St Kilda Geelong
You know
game
how
from years back.
you know how silly that is. That game actually sells. People will be intrigued to see who is still winless.
Who is the worst of the worst?
Well, it's
Who's the
going to
worst
get a lot of
worst?
interest from the neutrals just to see
Like-
which side will go winless longest.
So you're going to rely on Carlton and Brisbane to not beat Sydney.
Owen deathmatch, really.
Yeah, like
it's meant to be.
we don't want to kill off Owen too soon.
No.
Lindsay Thomas, Dan, before we move on from this game.
I'm happy to say Lindsay Thomas is shit.
Can you
He's
elaborate?
shit. Yeah, I don't think he's kicked a goal all year. Has he not kicked a goal all year?
Well, I know he kicked a point on Good Friday. What about Andrew Swallow? Like, it's almost like captaincy made him a better player.
Swallow one's terrible.
What a
Yeah, look,
coincidence, though. They changed
Yeah.
the rules around ducking for free kicks, and all of a sudden Lindsay Thomas has no impact. Strange.
Well, you're saying he only gets all these goals from free kicks, Penal? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's
Basically.
exactly what I'm saying.
Well, that rule has changed, but not for...
Well, it hasn't changed for Joel fucking Selwood.
yes, that's
but
exactly where I was
it's-
going. Not for Joel
it's
Selwood.
changed.
Oh, Joel
change for
Selwood
everyone
plays
else.
in the midfield. He has the opportunity to play a good game every weekend.
No,
You're not going to play a good game every weekend if you're forward pocket, are you?
yeah, okay.
But surely, Dan, you'd agree that the rule change has affected his output.
No, I wouldn't agree with that at all. He's not even in the top 10 for head-high tackle.
That's
free
because he
kicks.
doesn't play in the midfield, where you get a lot of chances to touch
Oh,
the ball.
but you can use the Joel Selwood comparison, sure.
Well, actually, I was just trying
You
to
can't
make...
have it both ways.
I was only
No,
trying...
we're saying they've changed the rules for everyone except Joel Selwood. That's the only reason I brought him up.
And all I was doing was trying to make a segue to Geelong St Kilda.
Why am I defending? I'm happy to say he's been terrible this year.
Yeah, because of the rule change.
No, he's just been terrible this year. It's got nothing to do with it.
Well, the umpire stopped looking after him. How many free kicks does he get?
He's been a good player on his own merits.
Oh, come on.
There's a guy that kicked like 50 goals in a season like
He's
2
a
years
poor
ago.
man's Damien Cupido.
Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, the Andrew Swallow one's... Well, he's been playing in the forward line and he's only touching it like 10 times a game. I don't know what Brad Scott's doing with that, and it's not helping Swallow and it's not helping the team.
I hope that Sydney and North both get to that game still Owen, so we can have the Battle of the Owens and the Battle of the Shit Truck ex-captains turned forward, who are now complete shit trucks with Swallow and Jack.
He's fallen off a cliff. I mean, what's his excuse? He's still playing midfield.
What's his excuse? No more pace.
Because his mum still hates him.
But Geelong St Kilda, where I was trying to take us. Cookie, you sort of did promise us some umpire melts. Or should I say, not Cookie promised us some umpire melts.
Yeah, but I'm mellowed out because I'm now not drunk, so... I will say, it was fucking bizarre how Selwood got a free kick from getting high contact from his own teammate.
Yeah, fuck
Because
that
he's
guy.
so solid.
And I'm glad the St Kilda supporters booed him because it's time that someone
That was
puts
really
that.
good.
It's about time someone gave that fucking Nancy boy prima donna cheating rule flouting ducking cunt the treatment he deserved.
He was so brave to play well after it, though.
He was so brave to fucking carry on after being collected by his own teammate. and getting a free kick for that. I mean, fucking spare me.
And those racist St Kilda fans, racist against ducks. Ducks are people too, St Kilda.
Duck lives matter.
But it also, Andrew Mackie got a 50-metre penalty because an umpire couldn't hear the difference between bump and cunt.
You shouldn't even get 50 metres for calling someone a soft cunt. You can call someone a fucking retard and not. So why can't you call someone a cunt?
Yeah, and fucking calling Andrew Mackie a soft cunt, that's even more of a truthful statement than calling Papley a fucking retard.
You would not get
Yeah,
done.
I went mainboard on that.
That is banter, not slander.
You'd go to fucking court in a defamation lawsuit and they'd throw it out and say fucking, nah, you're right, carry on. Cookie would have been conflicted though, like watching your team play, but then again, your spirit animal in Mackie was on the other team.
I was calling him a piece of shit all game. I fucking hate him.
Cookie is self-loathing. I think this is the message there, Penal.
Yeah, just disappointing. Our midfield, Jesus Christ. I don't know what they're doing, but why the fuck is Dunstan playing only 60% of game time?
I'll tell you what really disappointed me, that Nakia Cockatoo was able to beat up on Jake Carlisle.
Yeah, give Carlisle some cocaine, then we'll see a fight.
Pick 5 for Jake Carlisle, not looking like a win
Aaron Francis
at the moment,
looked all right in
but
patches today.
however, I'm sure St Kilda will make up for that this year.
We got Gresham as well in that deal. We're satisfied.
Anything else on St Kilda Geelong?
Minchington played well versus the Cats again. He is the actual Cat Wrangler. Guaranteed 3 goals a game versus Geelong. He would have beaten Geelong last week if Hawthorn picked him up.
Well, speaking of Hawthorn, how embarrassing for West Coast, really.
We mentioned this with both Collingwood and North, but this was just another example of a team they were beaten before the first ball was bounced, because at no stage did they look like they thought they could win.
Are we still talking about St Kilda and Geelong? Or are we
No,
moved
we're
on?
talking about Hawthorn West. We're talking about West Coast, really.
Oh, so I missed the whole Aaron Black's a superstar now and he played a good game?
Oh, that's why you left. You're a squid. You didn't need to go anywhere. You just didn't want to hear it.
I saw Aaron
please.
Black kick a goal. Did he
I'm not-
kick more than that, did he?
I'm not one of those disgruntled supporters that, wishes bad things for ex-players when they go to other clubs.
Pretty much him and Hawkins were well held until the last 10 minutes.
Oh,
where the
hang on.
midfield
Can
just
I
got
actually,
destroyed.
now that you've mentioned Pawkins, can I actually note that you guys let Pawkins take what apparently was his 3rd career bounce?
How do you let Hawkins have a bounce in the first place, let alone 3? It's like having a sumo win a 100-metre race.
They let him march through the middle of the ground and take a bounce.
That's how do you let that happen?
You zone off with him because you know he's going to fuck it up.
It resulted in a
I
goal.
just love these fucking obscure stats that...
Well, that was the thing. I made the joke that he's taken a bounce, and I think it was a Hawthorn supporter came back with he'd only had 2 in his career before that, and I went, you know what? I believe that. It's a Hawthorn supporter. They probably know what they're looking for.
Let's see if we can get Tom Hawkins running bounces.
Yeah, no, it is 3 for his career.
Fucking hell, and 1 this week. Good on you, St Kilda.
It's only been 1 versus us.
Yeah.
1 versus the Bulldogs and 1 versus Essendon.
That'd be a good thread. Predict which team will be next and let Tom Hawkins have a bounce against them.
The Hall of Shame. You let Tom Hawkins take a bounce again.
It's like the reverse sort of Gold Coast GWS thing. The last team to let Hawkins have a bounce against them wins.
Get it. And you'll probably get a few dogs pop up sprinklers in that thread too. But we want a flag here, but you let Hawkins take a bounce.
Hey, I'm happy he didn't fucking destroy us as per usual. Brownie did well.
Brownie did well.
Brownie.
Fucking old mate. That annoyed me so much. You've known him 5 minutes and you're on Brownie. Fuck off, Cookie. Brownie. Call it Nathan. You're not that familiar.
Morgs, they're an intimate club down at St Kilda. He's probably already had his dick sucked by
Is
someone.
there like a cooling off period for nicknames? Is there?
Yeah, no. Oh, no, probably not. He's probably been on their banner 3 times before he played.
How many times have you referred to Daniel Wells as Wellsy?
Oh, once on Facebook today.
Well, there you go.
His
Yeah,
first
so he's
game.
allowed to call him Brownie.
When I said he was our best player. I could have lied, but I wasn't gonna.
Back to the Hawks versus the Eagles. Yeah, you're right, Penal. Only one team really wanted it. Like, it looked like one team was only ever going to win from the start. Like, and it's a sad indictment on West Coast that Darling was one of their better players.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's probably like he made fucking Josh Jenkins look like Buddy Franklin with his fucking hanging out at the back. At least Josh Jenkins usually gets some marks at 20 out and runs into the goal square. Darling just camped out in the goal square the whole day. It's probably the worst 4-goal game I've seen for a while. But let's talk about Tim O'Brien, who's on form, probably having a better season than the last bloke that wore the number 23 for us.
Oh.
And Ryan Burton. Like, I was early with the call last year, and
you were wrong then, and you're still wrong now.
It was an inspired call because he's way in front in the Rising Star at the moment.
You know what he's doing? He's Joel Bowdering his stats in the back line. That's all he's doing.
You lay off Joel Bowden. I'm sure we've had this argument before. You leave Joel Bowden alone, Dan.
And like his namesake, Blake Hardwick is proving to be just a footballing genius, a masterful acquisition.
Ben McAvoy played well.
Yeah, big boy.
He actually
was
did
very
play
good.
well. He was very
good.
Probably
I mean, speaking of fucking strange selection decisions, West Coast dropped Giles and decided to go in with Vardy as the number one ruck, which I'm sure everyone Geelong supporter could tell you he's not a number one ruck. It made McAvoy look like Sandlands.
On this note, does John Giles just sleep with the coach's wife at every club he goes to? What is this?
To be frozen out like that.
Yeah, what does this guy do to get frozen out and dropped as often as he does? Like, it's not like he's bad. He's not great.
Didn't he have a bunch of BOG games for Essendon's VFL?
Yeah, and he got overlooked for McKernan.
Like Sean McKernan got a game ahead of him.
It's just and even at West Coast, he's getting overlooked for Vardy. Like, he's not a good footballer, but he's not a terrible footballer. You should.
He has a crack.
Yeah, he has a crack, and he might do a few decent things, but he's not going to be.
He'd have given a bigger effort than 18 of the blokes out there.
Yeah, exactly.
West Coast.
He's a player you can at least plan around. You'll plan that he won't beat his opponent, but he'll give a good account of himself. Whereas you can pick Nathan Vardy on the hope that something will happen, but then if he gets embarrassed by McAvoy, it's pretty embarrassing for you. If you're Adam Simpson.
I really miss Nat and Noe.
Well, they just knew that they were going to play at the MCG and they were going to lose.
Yeah, and well, they won't be back there this year because there's no more games scheduled for them, and they won't be playing in the grand final.
North Melbourne don't get to play West Coast at the MCG?
No, you probably play them in Tassie.
Oh, great.
I think it's Etihad.
You played them. You played them in round one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we did too. And
you
we
lost.
Oh, shit.
I don't even remember.
You guys booed Petrie, remember?
No, we didn't.
You booed Petrie.
No,
they didn't. You disgusting North fans booed Petrie, Dan.
No one booed Petrie.
Dan,
Petrie
you don't know. You can't remember.
No, Petrie was on the screen. North celebrated him.
No, they booed him, Morgs.
No,
they did not.
Oh, shut up, Morgs. They booed him.
They booed him. I saw it.
Dan doesn't remember.
Listen, you got me with the whole Moncast, but you're not getting me with the Petrie booing.
Next game, Richmond-Melbourne on Anzac Eve in...
Oh, Richmond. I think it's safe to say Damien Hardwick is the All-Australian coach for 2017.
With Carousella as the assistant.
Yep.
Neil Palmer's director of footy.
Worst game we played all year. It looked like a fucking 2016 classic, and in the last quarter, we got lucky because they ran out of fucking rotations.
They ran out of fit players. And just
they were rucking Jack Watts for fuck's sake.
He tried his best, Watsy.
I guess that's the advantage of the new.
Yeah,
that's
Paul
one of the
Cooks and
advantages of
Roos.
the new ruck rule. Is just that if you're a Jack Watts or someone going up against a proper ruckman, you just nominate and stay off the contest, and just effectively you're an extra midfielder.
Yeah, but he has to go up in the centre though. It's like he's obligated to.
Yeah, but his around the ground work was one of the things that helped Melbourne stay in it as long as they did. Good game by old Watsy.
Did you go to this game, Cooksy?
I did. Morgsy. Jake
What do you think
Melksy? How was Melksy?
Shit.
Oh,
he doesn't deserve a nickname.
No, Melksy somehow kicked the goal though, didn't he?
Oh, Milky.
No, that was Hibadi.
Hibby.
Old Hibsy.
I mean,
What did you think? What did you think of Dion Presti's game, Stubborn?
Fucking
Just
ineffective.
out of interest.
It was Pendlebury-esque.
Oh, it's a fucking meatball. He's a
So that's
tiny
Josh
Time
Daddy.
to, time to get Anthony Miles back in the side.
Can we have the trade back, please? I don't even know who was drafted at pick 6, but as long as it wasn't the next Tyrone Vickery, can we please have it back?
Hey,
Yeah.
Stubbins, do you reckon Presty is better than Adam Trelaw?
No, but I never said he was.
No, but your board did.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, we don't need Trelaw, we got Presty.
Our board's fucking... Yeah, we have 2 boards full of Mongs. We have the Richmond board full of Peggy and other Mongs, and we have the Richmond board full of Groupie and other Mongs. And you got to convince me which board of idiots
You
we're
could've-
talking about here.
Oh, you could have gone Jack Scrimshaw.
Is that who got drafted at 6?
Worth it for the name alone.
Old Scrimmy.
Scrimsy.
Or Jai Simpkin.
Oh, I love Jai Simpkin.
Or Pow Pepper.
Oh, now you're just pissing me off there.
No, Powell Pepper's fat and slow.
So is Preston.
But he's short, fat and slow. He's like a fat meatball that just rolls around.
Yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah, that's what Prestia is.
Oh,
A little
yeah,
fat-
Pal Pepper's a little bit better than that.
Nanky played well.
He plays for Richmond. You don't need to give him a nickname.
Nancy. Oh, Nancy.
Oh, actually, he did play for Sydney, though, so maybe he does get one. Old Nancy.
He's one of the boys.
Oh, Nancy likes a wanksy.
There is a deliciousness to the fact that we got Nankervis from Sydney and they kept Tippett, Sinclair and Naismith.
He's probably the All-Australian ruckman at the moment.
Oh,
Are you mad?
yeah, he's probably in the best 4 going round at the moment.
He's probably
but-
in the best 18.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
off.
best 6 probably, but
Yeah, he's
there's a few ahead of
there's
him.
a few ahead of him. Like
Who's ahead of him?
Grundy's ahead of him.
Ryder, Jacob.
Grundy.
Oh, I don't give a shit about Grundy. Come on.
Grundy's gonna shit it in.
Yeah, it's Grundy's now
Is
that
it-
Gorn's gone. Braden
Who-
Bruce
who-
has
who-
done all right too, just quietly.
Yeah, but he's only played like 2 or 3 games.
But then he gets left out for
He's
no reason.
played
Yeah.
4 games.
Yeah,
That's right.
this was the first one he missed, wasn't
Oh, make sure you keep me in check, yeah, if I make something wrong.
I
it?
will.
You make something wrong.
I was gonna
Anytime
put
you
that.
make something wrong there.
Starburns, you were right about Cochin being back to his best.
I thought the other night was Cochin's worst game of the year.
I thought he played decently. To be
I
honest.
thought his disposals were effective, but certainly his numbers were still down. Like that's the sort of game he's been playing all year, but the numbers weren't as high as they have been. He got, I think, 18 or 19 disposals. He's been getting probably about 26 to 30 most of the year. So probably the numbers were down, but the impact was the same. It was a more even effort, but
Would you say it was the best 16 possession game of all time?
no, because apparently that was Surioli.
That's right. Don't forget about it.
Oh,
Cochin doesn't need excuses like that made for him.
Yeah, but Cyril's not a midfielder, despite what some fucking nuffies on the main board think.
Anything else on Richmond Melbourne?
Damien Hardwick is a genius.
Master coach.
5-0. He's
Should
not
just-
going anywhere.
Should just be coach of the year. Should be Australian of the year for what he's managed to do for Richmond. Just turning that club around like that, giving hope to millions of disenfranchised Tiger supporters everywhere.
I'm not
I like
buying
it. Give him Australian of the year.
He's a true patron saint and a hero.
We're into the games that don't matter. And we'll begin with the Giants beating Sydney, which is most notable for Heath Shaw being caught on
Next.
the umpire microphone.
Most notable, Heath Shaw being a retard.
Well, did anyone else find it interesting that it was Heath Shaw calling someone else a retard and not someone calling Heath Shaw a retard?
Yeah, like if you're gonna get fucking sprung like that and have the umpire mic pick something up, I would have expected it to be the other way around.
I'm amazed Heath Shaw didn't try the Tourette's defense.
He should have just blamed his medication.
Is he on Tourette's medication? Is he?
He has
He's on
ADHD.
ADHD.
I reckon, yeah,
He
he
takes
could
Ritalin.
pull that defense off.
He takes Ritalin like I take mental.
It worked for Eddie Maguire when he made the goods call. What was it? Painkillers? Painkillers made him say get Goodsy down for King Kong. He sure can blame the Ritalin. We did touch on Kieran Jack a bit. He was putrid. Tippett, I think, only had about 3 kicks. He was putrid. Look, are the colas cooked? Has the cola gone flat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Long,
cool.
long live Owen.
Has the collar gone flat?
Well, it has. There is no fizz. Like, apart from Heaney, Mills and Buddy, there's nothing there to make you think that anything beyond the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Hanbury and
Sack-
Parker have just gone off a cliff, and
Jack's
other than those
finished.
3, and maybe Haywood, who looks like he's got some promise as a young player coming through. There's just not a lot to be happy about if you're a Sydney Swan supporter.
I mean, Grundy's cooked. Gary Rowan's flaky.
Aaliyah got omitted.
I mean, Sydney were good, but until Giants literally touched the ball for the first time.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, yeah, GWS literally gave them a 4-goal head start in that they didn't touch it till 4 goals were on the board and still
Sounds like another
walked it
10-1
in.
though.
still walked it there. They were in front by quarter time or shortly into the second quarter and just steamrolled them. Like, they're just doing what they have to. The only team that's looked like really doing anything to them is the Crows, who beat them comfortably. It's Crows GWS all the way, really.
I'm at Toby Green, Mr. 20 and 3. Unfortunately, he only got 4 and 16.
No, I just needed another 2 goals, and then he would have been up there with the all-time greats.
Wait, did you say 4 and 16?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's the best 16 disposal game of all time.
No, but you didn't factor in all of his knock-ons to advantage.
Okay, Penal. Anything else you wanted to say on Hawthorn West Coast since you keep wanting to talk about Cyril?
Look, Cyril, you can't keep a good man down. He's been copping a lot of criticism by wankers like Carey, and it's just good to see him.
Wankers like Carey. What about Brian Lake?
No, I think Brian Lake's comments were legitimate in that
they're very legitimate. No wonder Cyril's delicious. He's the icing, not the cake.
He's very tasty icing though, like some of the best icing. But pretty much
Thanks, Bruce.
every Hawthorn player played their best game for the year. I think Brian Lake was right. Cyril's not the sort of guy you build your team around. That's fair enough. But yeah, it's amazing that, you let the youth have a run and have an extended run in the side, start playing their second, third game in a row, and it all comes together. And it's good that we didn't have shit trucks, Vickery and Henderson running around.
But Vickery kicked 4 in the 2, so he'll be back next week.
You can't drop anyone for him though.
Ryan Burton.
Certainly not Tim O'Brien. Certainly not James Sicily, who is back to pissing off opposition supporters everywhere.
But he's a wanker though. He just is.
I rest my case.
No, but he is though. I mean, I know what you're saying, but he is. He's a wanker.
He's the sort of guy that you love to have on your team.
He celebrates like a wanker too. He's just got that look about him.
He's Dermy Mark II. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but Dermot could play. I mean, Sicily's just a fringe player.
Oh, you don't think he can play?
I think he's okay.
Certainly fucking tore your mob apart last year.
Yeah, and he played 1 good game. Good for him.
He's fucking already played more good games in his short career than Lindsay Thomas.
Yeah, well, when Sicily has a 50-goal season, you let me know.
He had one last year. He had one last year.
No, he didn't.
Wait, Lindsay Thomas had a 50-goal season one.
No, James Sicily did. He was our second leading goal kicker.
Just to be safe, I'm Googling.
Anything else on the Colas versus the Giants?
I want Jacob Hopper at my side. He looks to be like, could be a gun.
Anything else on Heath Shaw within that?
Nah, he's a retard.
Yeah. Is Longmire under the pump at all?
I think he would be if they were they would be a Melbourne club.
But nobody cares.
But I just don't think anyone cares because you're just not hearing anything out of Sydney.
You never know. They're trying to get Des Hasler into coach or somebody.
Oh, that guy melted over the refs that Plugger always quotes every time St Kilda lose. But you're right, they're not like Geelong. For example, Geelong can be, steady, and there's been a Sack Scott bandwagon since the year after he won the flag, and they're still knocking on his door, whereas Sydney don't have passionate supporters to do that.
Once they drop down the ladder, everyone just fucking goes back to the rugby or something.
Anyway, Dogs versus the Bryans.
More like umpires versus the Bryans.
Now, the Dogs spent the best part of 09 to 2016, from September to September, complaining about one Nick Rewald free kick, and they can't even say, we got a bit of a ride from the umps. Fucking hypocrites.
They're pretty ordinary looking so far. They've not really beaten anyone. Like, after 5 rounds, the teams they've beaten have a combined win total of 2 between them. The 4 teams they've beaten. And none of them have they beaten by more than, I think, the 32 points is comfortably the biggest margin they've won by.
You know what team they remind me of?
Hawthorn last year.
Hawthorn last year and Geelong 2014. And I know they were a much a younger team, but they've got some older players in their team, and they
Jesse
might
White.
be dropping off, and the older players might be dropping off. So I think the Dogs are having that sort of year where they just keep falling in against shit teams thanks to umpire assistance very Geelong 2014 like, and they probably will finish top 4. But I just can't see them winning a final on current form. They're looking like a straight setter.
Well, at least they'll back it up with a finals appearance, unlike Hawthorn. Nothing else on that.
Sorko played well. Hipwood was good. Deems probably had his best game for them.
Bob Murphy's 300th. Any comments on the Goo Fest?
Oh, thank fuck that's over.
Yeah, thank God that's over.
I must admit, I liked his request to the collar jumper.
You know what? I've been a fan of Bob's. I was really sad when he got injured last year, but I'm sick of having him shoved down my fucking throat. Seriously, it is just too much for somebody who is not that good at football.
Yeah, I agree.
Which player would you prefer to have shoved down your throat?
I can't answer that. What if my boyfriend was...
Aaron Mullet, I think, is the answer, Penal.
Oh, good call.
Ask David Armitage. He's a lot of players shoved down his one.
Penal, can we turn that question back to you?
Would it be Cyril for the best 4-inch cock ever?
He would be delicious, but
This is gay. Can we not talk about this?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You got a problem?
There's plenty wrong with it. I don't care.
yeah, so
Silly.
so just for that, Dan, my answer is going to be James Sicily.
I'll answer to Nick Delsan.
Because you're only a little man, so you've only got a little mouth.
Oh, shit. Crows beat the Suns pretty comfortably. They're humming along. They're going to win the May Premiership. You would think Richmond will lose to the Crows next week. Geelong will probably lose to Geelong have to lose to somebody at a certain point.
Look at this fucking defeatist flog going. Already given up.
Are you already talking about losses? You haven't even lost a game yet.
Yeah, because the Crows are that much better than us. They're knocking up 20 goals a week.
But you've got the best coach in the league.
Oh, get fucked. The Crows, look, they're the May Premiers at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see if they carry it through, but right now they're a scoring powerhouse that we haven't seen in probably since Grant Thomas's St Kilda. Since the Streak DVD.
The glory days.
The glory days. I've not seen a team consistently score this heavily since the Streak DVD. And they did it again to the Suns.
Bognay got 2 goals.
Talia might be out, which will hurt them defensively, but they'll still outscore whoever they come up against. And they're doing it without much of a midfield. There's your All-Australian coach, Don Pike. Only has one decent midfielder and he's got a powerhouse.
He's got 75 forwards.
Well, yeah, but someone's got to kick it to your forwards.
Not if they all just kick it to each other.
I mean, Eddie Betts, he's been unselfish. Tex Walker, probably centre-half forward All-Australian.
And they're doing it without Josh the Goose.
The old fig ribs.
There might be a better team without him in the side.
They got Tom Lynch and he runs up and down. He pretty much acts as a midfielder, but still bangs in like his 3 goals a game.
It's just the decoy runner, but
Thanks,
I
Ryan,
know,
for fucking wasting him as well.
They've got the good game plan to use the most of the cattle that they've got. So yeah, it does point to having a good coach, but I wouldn't say he's on the Hardwick level just yet.
Adelaide could become the first team to win the real double. Like, we've been hearing all about the Dogs winning the double last year with the VFL flag, but, you know, that's just a state league flag. We don't count North King Island flags for Port, but the Crows could be the first team to win the double, the AFL and the Awful, which, you know, that would shut the Doggies flogs up.
Yeah, that would be
and I don't think anyone would be too sad about that.
Well, nothing would shut the Dogs fans up, but it would be a good little milestone, I guess. For the first club that does the double, especially if it comes in the inaugural year.
No, never mind. It's all right.
Oh, go on.
Yeah,
and why don't you shit on women's football a bit more?
No, I wasn't going to shit on women's football at all. It was about Bulldogs.
But
Do it.
But maybe though the idea of the double is built on a faulty premise. If not every club has a team in the Awful.
I know we're not in, but not everyone can be made up of the 48% penal.
Is it really a noteworthy achievement at all when it's stacked against some teams?
Well, there'll be a Tasmanian side coming
Sydney in a grand final really that worthy of an achievement?
Or Fremantle.
Oh, I don't think
Or
so.
West Coast.
Take them off you. You don't have any flags. Shut up.
That's not the same, and you know it.
Oh, shut up.
Hawthorn won all their flags during compromised draft years.
Priority picks.
Tankers.
Just one thing I want to know, has anyone seen the three-quarter time ladder?
Oh,
What the
yes,
hell?
and I
What the
don't
hell
like
is that?
It's a ladder of what the teams would look like if the games ended at three-quarter time. North would be a lot higher and Geelong would be a lot lower.
We'd be on top.
No, you wouldn't be on top. I think you'd have 4 wins or 3 wins. Geelong would have 2.
We would have 4 wins.
You'd have 4. We'd have 4.
What is the point in this whole three-quarter time, mate?
Well, it's basically who's good and who's shit in the last quarter and just how drastic a change it is. That North are chokers and Geelong come from behind.
I don't need a ladder to know that my team is shit in last quarter. Yeah.
Geelong seemed to have a really good knack of running out games this year. Maybe they've got Wepsy back at home.
Wepsy. Thanks, Roosie.
Good hosting, Burns.
Very Port Adelaide-esque.
Well, speaking of Port Adelaide, how about that third quarter? It was like they came out on half-time on a different aerobic level to Carlton.
I was too busy watching Cosmos, which was significantly better than this game.
This game was just Port jump out to an early lead, sit on it for a while, Carlton look a little bit threatening before half-time, Carlton snuffed that fire out. Port snuffed that fire out, and that was
No,
it.
I think Carlton snuffed that fire out themselves was pretty accurate the first time.
True, they didn't kick
Still
well.
don't know how Levi Caswell kicked 4 goals won.
4 out of 6 as well. Look, Carlton just aren't very good at football.
They're as bad as what the Gold Coast or GWS were in like their second or third year.
They're clearly worse than I think most of us thought. Like, I think only one of us had them for the spoon. But when it's all said and done, they'll be a pretty good bet.
And Murphy got injured as well, so...
Port cruised. Penal's favourite player, Robbie Gray, was brilliant.
That fat shit fucking Patrick Cripps is killing my super coach, I think. Or did he play well this week?
Speaking of fat shits, Charlie Dixon still didn't do anything. Like, if ever there was a fucking game for a big forward to dine out and kick a bag, it'd be when your team wins by 15 goals, but still nothing from Charlie.
Can we also mention on this game that Daisy Thomas was out with soreness?
No, there's nothing suspicious about that at all.
Code for contract activation clause.
What's the magical number again? Is it
I believe it's 16, isn't it?
So he'll finish on 15 games.
They'd be very silly to cut it that fine. I reckon he'll get about 13.
And just make sure you get it to like 4 weeks to go, and he needs 5 games, so you just bring him in for the last month, give him a send-off.
Or give him a game here or there, but never fall beyond 50% in the ledger, basically. He should be playing 1 in every 2, and that's where they're at the moment, I think. If they pick him once every 2 weeks, they'll be on the right side of it from here.
They should have gone with managed on the team sheet, just because managing the contract is perfectly valid.
Let's go. The talking points, and Cookie, you found a talking point about the Bryans.
Yes, apparently they're going to be trading or selling a game off next season because Brisbane does not have enough public transportation when the Commonwealth Games is on.
Okay, what is this? What's with Queensland? Is there only so much public transport to go around?
Everyone just rides on their bicycles.
Yeah, what was the thing? Is it just that instead of trains, they just have all replacement buses to everything, and all the buses are going to be on the Gold Coast? Is that what this is?
Essentially, what they're scared of, they're pretty much scared that a big club like your Collingwoods, etc., they will overburden the public transport system.
Okay, see, I was thinking it was just a state full of replacement buses. It's like Dan's favourite place in the world.
It's probably a bit from column A, column B. And the South Australian government has expressed interest in picking up the game.
Why? Why would they want to host a Brisbane Lions game?
Yeah, surely that would be a candidate to send up to China, like Brisbane Port.
Well, I think that's where you're going, wasn't it, Cookie?
Yep.
Because Gold Coast aren't welcome back, because Koshy said so.
But Brisbane have the fucking maroon in their jumper. I'm sure Koshy would take offence to that somehow.
Oh, they'll just find something to wear, the old piss-stained jersey that Paddles loved.
Could bring the fucking...
old
what was
Bears
their
jersey?
horrible jumper? Yeah, it's one of their horrible jumpers. I'm
Their
sure
yellow
Paddles would be
peril.
happy to see that come back.
You're also thinking of double headers with the Suns and the Lions. I mean, that's torture enough for Queenslanders, I guess.
Jeez, didn't they do that with the awful game and a Q clash? Like, really, isn't that enough? I don't think their crowd's going to be too affected by public transport, just quietly. No one's turning up anyway.
It's going to be some creative fixturing, though, from the AFL for next season.
Yeah, it's not often they fixture creatively around Brisbane.
Yeah, I can't wait for the bidding of who wants the Brisbane Lions game.
And maybe we can send it to... Where else can we send it? Okay.
Norf Korea.
North Korea?
Kim Il-sung offers the Brisbane Lions $200 million to come play a game. You can't say no to that.
So you're saying, in an effort to not have nuclear war, we send in the Brisbane Lions?
Dan's the worst peace negotiator ever.
Well, I never said I was negotiating peace. I just wanted to see this silly game in North Korea.
We need to send in a good communist side. We'll send in...
No, yeah, well, and if they lose, you can put Rockcliffe in one of their rockets or something.
You'd still
It
fly
wouldn't go
backwards.
anywhere.
It still wouldn't go anywhere.
Get Rockcliffe shot by an artillery gun.
But yeah, that's actually Tom Rockcliffe is the perfect metaphor for the North Korean nuclear program. Just a series of failed launches.
That also
And then
describes his sex life.
In the end, you have to settle for a 3.
Speaking of Brisbane, Josh Shackey is being looked at by a few clubs, but in particular,
Gone.
Carlton.
Gone. Gone. I called this the moment he was drafted. He was gone.
That's going
All
to
the
be
little
a...
dirty Brisbane Lion posters chirped at me, and I told him it happened to Aish, and I made the same thread, and now it's happening with Shackey. Gone.
That's going to be a good Flogstradamus when it goes on.
But yeah, that will be a pretty funny Flogstradamus once it goes on. No, but like him to Carlton, is that the word?
Yeah, they've offered about
Apparently.
$700K a year.
Grandfather
Ooh.
offer.
Say no to that.
Yeah, fucking
Better than-
20-year-old kid getting that dangled in front of your face.
It's better than getting paid peanuts and free rides at the theme parks. I mean, Melbourne.
Having to play your double headers in the Gold Coast or sell your home games to South Australia.
North Korea.
Moving on to the Port Adelaide Nazi. After the Eddie Betts racist thing, well, turns out hashtag Robbo was right. What is wrong with South Australians?
He took white power a bit too literally.
Next talking point, Jaden Hunt's headband that's supposedly
What the
been
hell
banned
is
because it's
that?
got too many colours on it.
And how was it approved?
I didn't know you needed approval to wear a headband as long as it, you know.
I'm pretty sure you do.
That's
It just has to be one colour, that's it.
It's club colours. Like, just fucking let the guy go.
Mark Murphy can't wear a pink headband if he wants to wear it, but I'm sure he does.
Okay,
Who is employed
They
as
should
the
be allowed
headband-
to.
Who's the employed as the person who ticks off headbands?
the headband Nazi.
Yeah, there shouldn't be one, but the AFL has rules, and they you can't wear
Yeah,
the...
It's
Fucking
the fucking nanny state at work.
Cam Guthrie's allowed to wear pink dreads.
Like, do you remember the
Hey,
time
that's gotta play
when the
football.
when the AFL went hard on Essendon over the yellow bands that they wore for Adam Ramanauskas?
Oh,
I mean, it's pretty petty, but I mean that they have rules and they...
Yeah, they just
yeah, and
fucking,
sometimes the rules make no fucking sense at all.
it's this whole compliance shit is just to work for the dole scheme by the AFL to keep, bums on seats and...
It's ridiculous. Jaden Hunt cannot wear a headband in Melbourne colours, yet all the Port Adelaide players are allowed to wear swastika armbands when they run
Bruce
out to play
Dool was
Carlton.
able to wear a headband.
But think about it, from every time you go to see the footy, $2 from every ticket you buy or $10 from every membership you pay is going towards keeping the headband manager, keeping him employed. You're subsidising this.
Fashion police, you mean?
Fashion police implies he's doing a service. I mean, he's just fucking
Fashion Nazi.
fashion Nazi. Yeah, just fucking. He's as bad as the rest of them. He's as
So it's
bad as that port guy.
Fashion fascist.
No headband for you.
Heinrich
yeah,
headband.
the
Heinrich
AFL
headband.
The AFL will either find him or force him to shave his head. Moving on.
Headband Hitler. There we go.
No, there was. I think it's a bit ridiculous. So, I know there's a reason why you should probably care about it to a point, but certainly nothing Jaden Hunt's doing is off.
He's not doing the full Jim McMahon with putting the AFL commissioners.
Yeah, he's not
name
doing
on his
that.
head.
No.
I wouldn't mind seeing that though. Have Hal put sack bucks or something, or unaccountable.
Bathwater on a dog's one. Anything on the gambling advertising?
No.
What's your talking point, Cookie?
Yeah, you brought it up.
I didn't even read it, I just read the headline.
It didn't make sense. I think it's definitely gone too far. You should blanket ban. We don't need fucking anyone ticking off which gambling ads are okay to show. We don't need to create another fucking job which will send the price of our tickets up by $2.
The ad
Just
Nazi.
fucking do a blanket ban. No more fucking gambling ads at the footy on the TV. Just
It's not
fuck them off.
$2, because if you're an Essendon supporter or you're playing against him, it could be fucking 8 times that, the way they jack up prices.
Oh, okay. Talking point, Morgs.
Yeah, talking point. It is just ridiculous that tickets to today were $80 because that shit stain of a fucking club jacked up the prices because they're allowed to. We were allowed to last year and we chose not to because that's not what you do to your fans who have stuck by you when you fucked them.
It's even more disgraceful when you consider that.
Yeah.
If any other club did it, it wouldn't even be as bad. But for what you put your supporters through over the past 4 years, for you to turn around and do this to them now is disgraceful.
On a shared gate game, is it not?
Is that $80 for like the cheapest seat?
No,
Yep.
it's reserve seats. So like, it
Reserve
costs the
seats.
same to get in, but to actually reserve a seat, I think was the markup. Was that correct? And you had to reserve a
Yes,
seat.
but you had to reserve a seat. You couldn't just
Yeah,
get a
That's stingy. That's
Just, like
really
it was
stingy.
basically standing room only if you didn't reserve a seat, and even then you're sort of staffed.
Yeah, so for a club that needs to be trying to win back the goodwill of its fans,
Even today
Not a
on
good
the
start.
radio, Robbo gave it to Lindsay Tanner today on the radio about it.
What was Lindsay Tanner's rebuttal?
I guess those legal fees didn't pay for themselves, eh?
well, and to be honest, the crowd as a result, no doubt, was kind of disappointing. Like
It was only 2,000
87
more than the Richmond-Melbourne game.
Yeah, 87k. They had, I think, the same last year, or definitely above 85 last year.
The
That
weather
was
wasn't
with
the
all
greatest,
the
though.
man players out.
It's not the
Well,
weather,
here's
it's
what he
it's
said.
greedy Essendon, Dan.
It's not the weather.
I've got what he
It's-
says.
It's a public holiday, you know. Everyone should be able to turn up to the game on time, like they should be able to turn up to the podcast on time. Dan,
Is it Anzac Day in Perth too, is it?
it will be tomorrow. Yeah, so we're
good. Okay.
32 hours behind.
Yeah, sorry, I just don't consider Perth part of Australia.
Here's a response.
It's
It's
like
been
New Zealand.
it's designed to encourage people to book early
West
and
Africa.
preferably take our club memberships. So it's designed to ultimately favour the seriously strong supporters and give people opportunities to save money if they put in the effort.
Wank, 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 show me the money.
Bullshit.
Robbo's response,
Show me the money.
Robbo's response was, do you think you're in Parliament or something? We're on a bloody football radio station and you've put the tickets up 80%. Fans ringing the radio stations all week and you're here and you're sitting here spinning it saying it's not a rock concert and people should save their money. Come on, Lindsay. And then
Actually-
the last line of the article says Collingwood, who was the home team last year, decided to freeze ticket prices.
Good on Robbo for there, at least for sort of biting back and sticking to his guns, because I was expecting him to, you know, drop his trousers and just let fucking Essendon ram him up the shitter like they've been doing to him for 5 years.
Oh, and here we go. The airlines run on this basis where the prices you pay for different tickets are very important to demand.
Oh,
Fuck
Morgs,
off.
it's your fault.
Bring us into
Well,
this.
but that's on you, Morgan. That's more your area.
I cancel flights, mate. I don't fucking take people's money. I take away their dreams. Think you're going on holiday? You're not fucking going anywhere.
Collingwood lost. Let's make some planes disappear.
No, not today. I'm on days off. I'm on days off for the next 3 days, so you can fly in fucking peace. Friday night, I'm gonna fuck you up.
You're not working for another 3 days, Morgs.
No.
Oh, that speed would have got out of your system.
I'm not gonna fucking take toilet speed.
Toilet speed.
I was probably on the floor of a garage anyway, but it wasn't mine. Fuck those. No.
That's speed in the toilet. Take it. Go ahead. Take speed in the toilet. Straight off.
I'm not taking somebody else's toilet speed from the MCG.
Anything on the Indigenous Commissioner? Relton Roberts would be my first
The
choice.
decision hasn't been filled yet.
Well, they want the
Yeah.
plan is to get an Indigenous one because they feel they need it, and because apparently token appointments are okay. But yeah, Relton Roberts has to be the most qualified out there.
He's a good man, Relton. Always up
It
there.
makes Shane Turner happy.
His all-time favourite. Yeah, I don't know. Get someone who likes dining out on the turtles, because we know that they'd at least keep the price of food and footy nice and cheap. So even when the tickets are $80, we know at least we won't have to pay more than $5 for some chips.
And if you want to keep the drink prices down, you get Dave Wilpunda on.
when Harley Bennell retires, he can fill that post because that'll be speed in every toilet at the ground. That's his pledge.
Oh, there'll be toilet speed for everybody.
Airline speed too.
Well, it'll be like Oprah. If you look under your seats,
You get speed, everyone gets speed.
Check for a lucky baggie.
the lines of the toilets just got so much bigger.
The line in the toilets.
We've answered most of the questions that got asked. The only one I can think of potentially raising comes from Smeghead. Is there a bigger purveyor of fake news than Tim Watson?
The waste of semen, Damien Barrett.
Is this something to do with what Tim Watson was dribbling on the Oz at the game today? So I don't know what he was talking about, but I guess this had something to do with Essendon.
He had a post-match interview with his
Yeah,
son.
I did notice that.
Yeah, that was kind of cringeworthy.
Yeah.
In his defence, I don't think he makes that decision, though.
Well, Job wasn't the best player on the ground. Not even close.
No, he wasn't.
Go find someone who played a better game, Tim.
Yeah, well, it's just he was trying to have a fucking heartwarming dad and son type moment to try and convince the viewers at home that Job Watson is people, but he's not. He's a fucking drug cheat.
Stop trying to give your son the Macca's award.
Yeah, save your fucking little wank fest for a phone call after the game. Well, no one else needs to see that shit. Fuck off.
All right, that's a good note. Let's go to This Week on the Bay.
Tim, I tried to stick up for you if you're listening. They all went hard on you.
You're a terrible coach, Tim.
Oh, yeah, your coaching career did stink. That I will agree.
Sorry, not sorry.
Who's fucking Andrew Mackie now?
Yeah, This Week on the Bay, thread of the week.
The number plate thread was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the number plate thread.
If Essendon lose Anzac Day, Fred was also
Crapples.
good, and so was the pop-up sprinkler.
Oh.
Yeah, pop-up sprinkler's been good.
I don't actually rate that thread at all.
I haven't minded Vesti's worst player of the week, purely because Vesti's basically promised Cyril Rioli would be in the poll, and that's gone down about as well as Tom Boyd not being in Moffra's bottom 50. The Hawks have jumped all over that.
Yeah,
They're covering
he's
themselves
just
in glory.
He's just thrown out some low-quality bait, and everyone's fucking just jumped in the boat anyway. So, like I said before, we have some fucking idiots, Hawthorn supporters in the Bay.
The North thread was also good.
There's a Richmond poster that had a melt over Dion Prestia. That thread was not too bad.
Yeah, a thread in where some Geelong supporters didn't exactly cover themselves in glory. Some Vesti's Heath Shaw in trouble for telling the truth thread.
Oh, yes. What's the other, the I'm offended one from Berta Weiser?
Or is that the Heath Shaw?
What?
That's the Heath Shaw retard thread, isn't it?
No, he made a second thread saying I'm offended.
I haven't seen that one.
And it was pretty funny.
Cookie, can you tell me who created the thread?
Berta Weiser? I don't fucking know how to say his username.
Bodsy. Just call him
Bodsy.
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 Flogsy. Flogsy. We are the Flogsy cast.
Bodsy.
Oh, yeah.
Are you just spelling his name?
Yeah, fuck it. It's because what Cookie said sounded wrong, and so I looked at it. It's
wrong,
Boda
that's
Siffer.
Yeah, it's Bodacip.
And you know the saying, it's F before C, except after D.
Yeah, I got nothing else. What else do we got? Anything else?
Just give it the number plates. I
Number
think.
plates? Yeah, I like number
Yeah.
plates.
Number plates. By
Yeah,
Folksy.
not that sprinkler shit.
Flog of the week.
Pack lunch.
Oh.
Ooh.
King
I was
Cold.
going to say Dan isn't allowed to win it this week, but I didn't have to put it out there.
Well, you did. Before he got on, you're like, now, guys, you can't pick on him again.
I want to...
Guys,
Leave
enough
Dad
said that.
alone.
Oh yeah, like they're gonna listen to you. I mean, come on.
Fuck
No,
off,
I have
Dansy.
genuine flogs this week.
Oh, Dansy. Don't get mad, Dansy.
No,
Dansy.
we're like
Shit.
the cat. We don't respect authority.
I suppose just give it to Geelong on a whole this week. I mean, King Cold, Cats in America, Cats Go.
Yeah, Morgs, can you
Yeah.
mention today's thread? I haven't read it, but you had a very good recount of that thread, Morgsy.
Oh, the game day thread where a Geelong supporter seen a Hawthorn supporter, so thought they had to turn it into
And which game was this?
the Collingwood Essendon thread. Like, literally, it was like Collingwood and Essendon are playing on a Tuesday. Well, we played you on a Monday. Let's fight. Like, fuck up. No Not everything's about you. Stop ruining everything. Like, you're ruining every thread. Just fuck off. You've got 6 threads. Go away.
Everything's about them. It's so West Horsham-esque. It's like how you used to not be able to make a thread about any of the West Horsham teams because by page 2, they'd be talking about Talia's cat.
Speaking of Hawthorn cunts, extreme. He is now said today he has now seen the 2014 grand final over 500 times. Now, I've done the math for this shit. That is approximately 40 days of watching one game.
Yeah, my advice would be get a life.
Can we just nominate two clubs?
His numbers too specific. Can I nominate dishonourable mention to the Crypt Keeper? And this goes back to this time last week.
This guy is a tool. He's an underrated mainboard tool who deserves more mentions every week.
Yeah, and you know why he's a fucking flog? It's because he's a Tottenham supporter, and I've never met a Tottenham supporter I didn't not like.
What about
I got
Teach?
into a discussion with this moron on the
Wait,
mainboard.
hang on. What about Teach, Penal?
And David Schwartz.
You're just proving my point.
Oh,
With the Teach one anyway.
you're cold.
Schwartzy, I haven't actually spoken to Schwartzy that often.
But can I get back to the Crypt Keeper for his thread? What did that grub Motlop say to Roughhead? Which was a veiled melt thread. Pretty rancid Geelong bait. Like, he really wanted to get the whole Motlop supposedly sledging Roughhead over the cancer thing, which doesn't appear to have any legs to it.
Well, I mean, the reason... it's the sort of thing you could see happening. Like, you go...
I could see it happening, but it
did happen. But in the absence of any evidence, you don't make the thread.
No, exactly. And he made a complete goose of himself throughout that thread, and every other Hawthorn supporter who jumped in. And so this is just Hawthorn Geelong. So I think once again this comes back to we should give it to all Hawthorn and Geelong supporters, all of them, all of you.
And Spurs supporters as well.
Yeah, and Spurs supporters. So they include.
Can I give a couple of dishonourable mentions?
Yeah.
I'll leave one off, but I will give it dishonourable to Smeghead, or should I say Plughead, for his umpire melting over the game on the weekend. Just
West Coast were not good enough to win that game. They were putrid.
West Coast have become so used to the armchair rides they get over in Perth that as soon as they get on a plane and get some fair umpiring, that the supporters don't know how to take it, and they all turn into a bunch of pluggers.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with Crypt Keeper. Yeah, and an honourable mention to just Bulldogs posters in general.
I agree with Dan.
Bulldogs posters in general.
Schwartzy, you filthy Tottenham supporter.
There's been like a passive sort of ego rise amongst that group of posters during the off season and the early part of this season.
Pop-up sprinklers, you mean?
More, well, yeah, I know that's obvious, but it's been more so with this group than any other supporter group that's just had their team win a premiership.
They're insufferable wankers, led by that fuckhead BRWB who should have followed my advice today and gone and munched on some arsenic.
Do you want to elaborate any further on your pack lunch nomination?
Yeah, I'm not a pop-up sprinkler. Go and fuck yourself.
Fair enough.
Give it to Chief.
So who are we giving it to?
All the Bulldogs supporters.
What happened to all the Geelong supporters?
All the Geelong supporters.
And all the Hawthorn supporters.
No,
just everyone to be flog of the week this week.
Your flog of the week.
Okay, who Your flog of the week, and you get toilet speed, and your flog of the week, and you get toilet speed. Flogsies.
And you're the indigenous person. And you're the indigenous person.
You get Flogsy of the week, and you get toilet speed, and you get an AFL job to crack down on something ridiculous, and
just blanket everyone as flog of the week.
I think one person stood head and shoulder above the competition in terms of sheer floggishness, and that was that Catsman in America guy.
Yeah, I think he epitomizes at all.
Just blanket everyone except for me.
He's worse than the rest.
Can we give it to Dan again then?
No,
Don't you mean Dansy?
I
Yeah,
can't
Dansy.
keep winning this thing.
No,
Silly.
no, Dan can't keep winning it, and as much as I want to stick up for Dan in that sense, it's also partly because there are too many far more deserving flogs missing out just because we want to take the piss out of Dansy, and it's about time, and I'm happy to give it to Catsman America on behalf of all the horrible flogs this week after that suggestion from Penal. But all the rest of you Geelong and Hawthorn supporters and Bulldog supporters, all you other flogsies are very lucky.
You're on notice, especially you, Schwartzy.
Next week's games,
Is someone grading a carrot or something? What's going on?
I think he's just polishing the coin.
yeah.
Oh, God.
The coin is back. Is it the Italian one again, Cookie, or did you get us a Russian one from Dennis?
I didn't get a Russian one from Dennis.
You
I
did.
just saw him get... I didn't. I just saw him get a pot plant thrown at his head by his mum.
Hang on. Elaborate.
I went over to Dennis's house on Friday night, and yeah, pretty much Dennis's mum came over at like 10-ish. They got in a really weird argument in Russian. Then they hugged it out. Then Dennis's mum brought a cactus as a gift. Then she threw the cactus at Dennis's head.
She's ruthless. I love her.
Yeah. So what does the coin say?
Yeah, the coin is... We're going for a Japanese coin.
How many yen is it, Cookie?
That's the only one I could find so far. It's a 50 yen coin. It's got a hole in it.
Can you get a Chinese coin? Your hands on a Chinese coin in time for the Port Adelaide game?
Oh, probably.
First game, match of the round, Giants Dogs.
And it's tails.
I hate the yen.
Hawthorn versus the Saints in Tasmania. Hawthorn's spiritual home.
The pick one cup almost.
It's
But not really,
Cherry
because only
Blossom
one of you wins it.
heads.
Oh, Hawthorn.
Well, yeah, if we lose, then that just brings it a step closer to it actually being pick one. So it's sort of...
Either way, it's secure to win.
Carlton, Sydney.
It is a tails. Sydney.
Oh, boo.
No one to die.
Bryans v Port.
Jesse, no.
It is a tails.
Bad pussy.
Let's go to sleep.
Bad pussy, good coin though. Smart coin.
North versus the Suns.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is going for North.
Oh, no more Owen.
Derby, West Coast Freo.
It is going for West Coast.
Must be the first time all year though that it hasn't tipped Freo.
They won't win now either.
Essendon versus Melbourne.
The Melksham Cup.
And it is going for the Demons.
Geelong v Collingwood for the Travis Varco Cup.
It's a heads.
Cats, and finally Adelaide Richmond.
It's going for Richmond.
See, the coin knows how good Hardwick is.
I have no idea. So, any last notes we want to add on some of those games? There's actually some cracking games this round, or some games that are really intriguing, whether at the top or the bottom of the ladder.
I think there's only two games that don't look interesting, and that's Carlton Sydney and Brisbane Port. The rest are all going to be quite good, I think.
Essendon and
No,
Melbourne
they're
probably
not.
falls in that category too. North and the Suns, but
I think the coin will get most of the games except for Essendon and Adelaide.
Collingwood might bounce back, presuming they drop Pendlebury. Geelong are due to lose. They've not been that good.
Collingwood do have a tendency to just beat Geelong in bizarre ways, though.
That's true.
Yeah, like by being better than them.
Well, not
But
really
that's
this year.
Last year. We killed them. But we're not going to do that off the back of a 5-day break with a captain who couldn't lead a horse to water. Imagine if you were out at war and you had to look beside you and fucking Pendlebury was there. Fuck.
Imagine if you had Scott Pendlebury trying to win force and train your cat.
Oh my god.
It wouldn't even shit in the box.
No, just shit on the bed like Suze's cat.
I praised him before that he learned to shit in the box and then he pissed on the couch, on the fucking blanket. Oh, getting a cat was a bad idea.
Well, just shoot it. Get rid of it.
Oh.
I'm never going to have children.
Throw it over the back fence.
No.
I
They
know
come back.
you're taking this hating dogs thing to an extreme, because you should have got a dog. Dogs are much better than cats.
Dogs shit on cats.
Mhm.
Absolutely shit on
I've got
cats.
dogs. I've got
Well, you
dogs.
should
Those
have
are
got
smart
more.
cats.
Get more
That's at my mum's house.
crazy dog lady.
No. I don't want to have to deal with the dogs. They live with my mum now.
So if you don't want to do with the dogs, why'd you get a cat?
Because, like, NL has a cat and it, like, requires no maintenance.
But you thought that this cat would just be like that cat. You were kidding.
Yeah.
I saw the movie Lassie. If I get a dog, it's going to be just like that.
No, but this is a real life cat. I've seen this cat. It's really nice and mine's a fucking devil. And like now he's gone and it's quiet and I don't know what he's doing, but he's probably fucking shit up somewhere else.
I guess that means we don't have anything to add on any of the games.
No, not really.
No, I don't like 5-day breaks are terrible. Like I don't want to see my side again in another 5 days. No.
You think that's too soon before you have to watch Braden Maynard run out again?
Oh,
Yes, it's way too soon. Oh, did you see when he took...
he stepped on the line?
He ran out of the fucking square.
He took the kick in and I went, as soon as he stood there, I went, why is Maynard kicking out? And then I was like, I fucking told you. I lost it. Like, this is ridiculous.
That was one of the bigger problems that Collingwood had, just on that. Him and Ramsey were shocking.
But it's no better when Josh Smith's there. It's even worse. There's
I know,
another
but
one.
just genuine liabilities down
Yeah,
back.
but every time Ramsey got the ball, it was like he heard Tip and Woody chasing him with like the Jaws music. And he was like just shitting bricks the whole game. He's got no composure.
And that fucking Maynard fumble on the wing where fucking he gets the ball, handball to him, and then just drops it, and then Tip and Woody runs away with it. That turned the match right there because Collingwood were coming, and then Essendon from that moment slammed on the next 5 goals. So fucking Maynard.
I still don't know why I won my Supercoach team last year.
Good at it. We've
Yeah,
established
because you're
that.
pretty... Yeah, what, you sure that wasn't your Spud coach, even before Spud coach was a thing?
Yeah, Cookie was Spud coach before he even knew it.
The Spud coach hipster.
Nothing else to add?
Hawthorn will beat St Kilda in Tasmania. There you go. I just felt compelled to say that.
Alright, so this was the Flogcast for round 5. Burnsy joined by Cooksy.
Farewellsy.
Don't say Wellesley. He's only played one game.
Morgsy.
Spicy.
Dansy.
That's so gay.
No, outros.
Hey,
It's more gay than the discussion about who you'd want down your throat.
you never answered that, by the way. You were the only one that didn't.
Yeah, it's the reason why I didn't answer that.
He wants
I
Magic.
don't know what part of the podcast Dan
Oh, no.
likes because he hates the intro. He hates the outros. He hates our discussions. Why are you here?
That's a very good question. Why am I here?
Don't make him question it. And-
Why? He's here to win Flog of the Week.
And Peensy.
Until next time, Z.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week, see.